Now, we have a caller. Well, let's see if the caller sets up his own question adequately. Otherwise, I may have to give the listeners a little background about some competition from Google. Jay in Manhattan, you're on WNYC. Hi, Jay.
Hey, man. War Eagle Jimmy. I was just calling, man, to say hey and see what you thought about the paid Google Wikipedia thing. I think it's called Knol now that they're trying to put together.
Right. So Google just announced a rival site to Wikipedia called Knol. That's Knol, which will take contributions from users who will not be anonymous, which is different from Wikipedia, and who are hand-picked as experts in the subject. I don't know if they're going to stop there or let so-called ordinary people contribute as well. And contributors also stand to gain advertising dollars for their efforts. You don't take advertising on Wikipedia. So what do you think about Google's entry into the wiki world?
Well, first of all, for the caller, it's actually Roll Tide, not War Eagle. So apparently from Alabama, two rival football teams. So I was raised right. So in any event, the interesting thing about Knol is that it's I think it's being described incorrectly a lot in the press. I mean, so the quote you just gave, it's not about handpicked experts. Anyone can sign up. It's not about people. You have the ability to verify your identity, but it's not required. But I think what's most interesting about it is everything that people do, the default license is a Creative Commons license, a Creative Commons attribution license, which means it's part of free culture, meaning anybody can copy the work and modify it, which means when people use the default license there, anything that's added to Knol, if it seems useful, people can pull it into Wikipedia and actually improve Wikipedia. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting hybrid things going on there. Finally, just the social model around what they're doing is very different. It's the idea of, generally speaking, you just control an entry, one single author. You can add other authors, or you can even make it so that anyone can come and help. But it's very different with a sense of ownership that Wikipedia doesn't have. I think what that's going to produce is actually going to be interesting, but I think it's not going to be an encyclopedia. I think it's going to be, and they even say they encourage opinion pieces and things like this. So I think it's going to be more of a collaborative blogging environment. But, well, as long as it's free culture, I'm all for it.
Do you see it as a competitor to what you do?
So the thing about us is we're very strange that we're a we'll plead guilty sometimes to being like a Star Trek convention. We're a community, and we're focused on creating a free encyclopedia in every language of the world. So we don't even think in terms of competition and things like that. We're doing our thing, and we hope other people are doing cool stuff, and so we don't really think of it in those terms.
That's why you remain with your .org status. I mean, as many people as use Wikipedia right now, it's the first thing that comes up on a Google search for so many topics that you might enter. You could be making money on this, with advertising down the right stripe or whatever. You're committed to not doing that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're a nonprofit organization. There's no plans to change anything about that. My view is perhaps a bit arrogant, but my view is that Wikipedia is important. It's culturally important. Whatever problems we've had or mistakes we've made, we're something that people are going to look back on about this era and say, wow, that Wikipedia was interesting. That was people came together and did something that was new, and that's something we really take a lot of pride in.